Facilities and Indirect Tax Committees of ICI, ICSI, and ICWAI. His core competence and area of expertise includes GST, corporate taxation, international taxation, corporate and commercial laws. He specializes in all aspects of indirect and direct tax laws, vis-a-vis example, excise, service tax, custom, sales tax, VAT laws, free trade economic cooperation agreement, anti-dumping duty, foreign trade policy, transfer pricing, corporate taxation, etc., and carries with him a blend of industrial and professional experience. So, also he has represented before CBEC, CBDT, DGFT, etc., for various matters concerning to trade, industry, and commerce, and strategic legal consulting and tax advisory, and presently advising a number of clients across diverse sectors. So we welcome you, sir. Uh, we really welcome you on the on board FIP. So over to you, Bimal Jain, sir.
At the outset, let me thank CA Gaurav Bhai for leading this initiative of certified GST course, and heartiest congratulations to become NIRC member as well. And thanking CA Prerna also for introducing me today in front of August audience. And I could see that the CA Rohit is also there with me, and advocate some Khushbu Grover is also there with me. I can see in panel. So all the distinguished members, professional across India, good evening to all of you. Today is the first day of this GST certified course. Rest assured, we are going to enjoy this certified course in a different way. When GST got started, we all started learning GST. And we have seen the way of learning of GST has been multifold. We are getting a lot of divergent perspective, one speaker saying on a particular point, which vary from other speaker, but still we are interested to learn. That is the important part of it. And why it is getting interesting as because before the matter goes to High Court or Supreme Court, we as a speaker also giving our own views, and that is divergent. It's not matching. And those who are listening, they are more, I will say they are more acclaimed too. And they also come with their own answer. Sometimes they post a query to the speaker, all the 5 speakers, let's say 5 speakers coming on board and asking a query. They will post the same query to all the 5 speakers. And he will like the speaker most who will give the answer as per his answer, which he has sorted out. That is how GST is evolving today. So everyone has got the query, everyone has got the answer. But in GST, what I've seen, everyone has got small queries, a choti si query hai. They are not having big query, all small query, but coming in a big basket. So we will try to learn everything today. Today is the topic GST myth. We really say GST the way it was started on July 1, 2017. We were told GST going to be one nation, one tax. It's a myth. Believe me, it's a myth. But otherwise, when GST was introduced, we were ensured that 4 broad parameters we will get as an advantage. First, multiplicity of taxes will go away. Of course, 17 indirect taxes and 23 cess merging into one basket. A great advantage to all of us together. Cascading of taxes will go away in GST. To a certain extent, it is gone, but still cascading persists. Today, we are going to discuss some of the topic where cascading still continuing. And who is responsible for such cascading? We are going to discuss that component as well. Double taxation. In GST, I could find a certainty now. A supply can either be supply of goods or supply of services, Schedule 2. And last, I normally say, and I'm advocating this pitch, GST law is a Gita, Bible, and Quran. irrespective of any language, religion, race, and caste. So if you're doing GST in Delhi or Panipat or some other place, remote place in Madhya Pradesh or Kerala or Andhra Pradesh, it's the same GST law pan India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, added advantage. Pre-GST, we were struggling with that if I'm doing Delhi VAT, then that is not applicable in Rajasthan. And Rajasthan VAT not applicable in Haryana, NCR I'm talking about. And Haryana VAT not applicable in UP. We were divided in a state barrier, but at least GST has opened up the platform. One nation, one tax. Even though I do not know Bengali language, but still I can practice GST in Kolkata. I can go to Kerala, I can go to AP, I can go to Karnataka, any place. And those who were struggling with 2-tier city, 3-tier city, they also got the opportunity. They also got the opportunity of doing practice pan-India, and that is the added advantage. Having said that, 4 broad parameters. And the first myth, GST is going to be a good and simple tax. This was the tagline, good and simple tax. How many of you believe GST is a good and simple tax? Write down your answer in a chat box, either yes or no. I'm sure that all of you will say, sir, क्या पूछ लिया आपने? कुछ और ही पूछ लिया होता हमसे. GST is not a good and simple tax. Believe me, not a good and simple tax.
Exactly,
And second
sir, the chat box is filled with no, not at all, no, and no.
So this is the irony of this country. It is not good and simple tax. And second question, Rohit, irony age. Lot of youngsters, like when I see you guys are competing with Bimal Jain, GST is like a newly born baby. There is no senior, no junior, there is no papa, no beta. Everyone is beta now, because we all learning GST together. But problem which I find in GST pan India, that we are losing interest in GST. For what reason? Frequent changes. What we are learning today may not be applicable tomorrow. And the kind of judgment which we are getting, we do not know where we are heading for. So I'm going to discuss those components as a myth. These are not giving GST as we thought of GST going to be a good and simple tax. I do agree it is not good and simple tax, but what is the way forward? Like a newly born baby start walking. He first start walking and then collapse, then again stand up, then again start walking. That is how the irony going on. And it is making GST, I must say, Kapil is saying that GST is interesting in its own way, no doubt about it. And that is what I have learned GST, because GST is my passion. I always do so inside that if you ask anything from any corner of GST, I will definitely try to give you the answer. And sometimes divergent. Sometimes the answer may not be to your expectation. And that is how the audience sometimes appreciate the speaker. Speaker ne agar aapke hisab se answer de diya, to acha speaker. He knows GST well. Or jisne aapke hisab se answer nahi diya, he does not know GST. Nahi malum isko. Isko samajh mein nahi aata. So that is what the GST beauty all about. So pehle main bolu ek cheez. We should stop comparing. We are having own identity, and whatever we are interpreting may not be, acceptable today, but tomorrow, day after tomorrow. A lot of things which I've said in last 4 years, tell me, a lot of you are watching me, and they are so good friend of mine. They may be good critics also, but a lot of things I've said in last 4 years and which we are finding as a judgment coming out. Is it not the good way of interpreting the law and making GST good and simple tax? Tell me in a chat box. I'm looking for the answer. Because so many things I've said in the past, we are finding the answer either coming out as an amendment or by way of court ruling. So what is GST? GST is really making it so interesting that we have to really try out with our own interpretation. Nevertheless, so many guys, Sandeep Saraugi is also saying Vijay Kumar MS Vijay Kumarji from Madras, for your information, from Chennai, and he's from the department side. And he's also part of today's webinar. It means he's eagerly waiting that I would be coming and deliberating. So I'm thanking each one of you. Thank you very much. So let me start with the first topic of the day. Today we are going to discuss 9 topics. 18th is January is the date. 1 + 8 is 9. So I thought of 9 technical issue, which is a myth in GST, and we are all looking for the answer. Let's see, today we are going to issue opinion also that what is the way forward. So I will not leave as burning topic. I will definitely try to give you the answer of those 9 burning topics. Let me start with the first one. And my deliberation going to touch base so many provision of the past and the provision now made applicable from January 1, 2022. My first and foremost topic, which is such a hot topic today. If I'm a buyer, I'm a recipient, whether my credit is really dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. We have seen a lot of notices are being issued by the department for mismatch of credit. Credit availed in GSTR 3B is not matching with the GSTR 2A or 2B. So I'm looking for the answer whether my credit is really dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. As we all know that under section 16 subsection 2, there are 4 conditions for availing credit. What are those 4 conditions? As a buyer, I should have tax invoice copy. I must have received goods or services. My supplier must have paid taxes, which is another critical point. I will discuss little later. And as a last, regularly filing return, right? Who is regularly filing return? Who is being referred in GST law? Is supplier or recipient? Can I have answered in a chat box? Who is regularly filing return? Is a supplier or recipient? I'm looking for the answer. We are 4.5 years old now. See the answer which is coming in a chat box and check yourself. As per law provision, it is recipient who is regularly filing GST return. Lot of answer has come as a supplier, and there are certain candidates who want to be over smart, or they're saying I'll be the smarter GST consultant. They have said both have to file GST return. So they are not wrong anywhere. That is what the beauty, but as per law, it is recipient which is being referred in GST law. Nevertheless, I'm going to discuss this topic. What was the provision prior to 1st January 2022? And what is the provision from 1st January 2022? Prior to 1st January 2022, if at all you're asking query to me, posting query to me, whether my credit is really dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B, my answer would be, my credit is not dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. Then why this mismatch of notices is being sent by the department? Department is used to make so many things by way of rule. This GSTR 2A and 2B got introduced only by way of rule, but there was no provision in the act. And as per legal interpretation, which I've learned over a period of time, unless there is a provision in the act, rule cannot be framed. There has to be father, then only son can be born or daughter can be born. Without having father, without having provision in the act, how by way of rule he can introduce GSTR 2A or 2B? First. Second argument, that prior to 1st January 2022, the challenge was, I'm in Delhi, and let's assume you all are in Maharashtra. Let's assume. I'm supplying goods or services, IGST leviable. If I'm furnishing my outward supply in GSTR1 and wrongly picking up wrong GST number of my buyer, wrongly furnished, though I've raised the correct invoice, correctly mentioning GST number of my buyer, but wrongly furnished in GSTR1, it is not going to be auto-populated in GSTR2A or 2B. Second position could be that B2B supply from registered supplier to registered recipient. But if I've captured as a B2C, is it going to be auto-populated in your GSTR2A or 2B? It is not. It was interstate supply, IGST, but wrongly furnished as a intrastate, C&S. Place of supply mentioned as a Delhi instead of Maharashtra. Whether you can avail this credit, or maybe I'm filing GSTR3B as a supplier, but not filing GSTR1. Or vice versa, I'm filing one, but not filing GSTR3B, not paying the taxes. Can you avail the credit? These are all open queries. But now you have to find out the answer. Pre-GST is a one situation, and from period prior to 1st January 2022, I'm of the opinion, first listen my opinion. For the period prior to January 1, 2022, my credit is not dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. For simple reason, I'm giving you the answer. Clause 100 of Finance Bill 2021 has introduced the fifth condition. And this fifth condition says, Bimal Jain as a supplier going to furnish outward supply, his invoice of outward supply in a GSTR1. And that going to be communicated to the recipient, to the buyer in GSTR2B. This is the provision now made applicable from 1st January 2022. So this is the part of provision of the Act. So fifth condition got inserted under section 16, subsection 2. It's a provision of the Act. Prospective clause now got notified from January 1, 2022. We all can say legally, as per the Act. Now this 2B has got validity, because this fifth condition is now being notified from 1st January 2022. Hence, for availing credit, we have to satisfy that my credit must be matched with GSTR 2B, but only from January 1, 2022. Having said, please tell me, from 1st January 2022, now it is firm that my credit should match with GSTR 2B. Well said, well done. But certain point I want to draw before you, which I'm getting as a query from the market. Sometime you're importing goods, and you're filing bill of entry for release of goods. So you're paying custom duty, including IGST. Whether such credit really gets auto-populated in GSTR 2B, which you are paying at the time of import of goods, please tell me yes or no, whether it gets auto-populated. It is not auto-populated. It is not auto-populated. So whether my credit will not be available, because it is not coming in 2B, this credit would be available, 100% going to be available. So what you should do, even though provision saying my credit is now going to be dependent on GSTR 2B, but I'm of the view, in my opinion, on import of goods, bill of entry is the eligible document. You can avail credit. You must avail credit. Second situation, import of services. A lot of reverse charge liability where supplier is not registered. You as a recipient, buyer or recipient, It's paying the reverse charge liability by generating self-invoice under section 31, subsection 3, clause F. That is also not getting auto-populated in GSTR 2B. Unless you are a registered supplier and your supply is falling under reverse charge. Wherever supplier is unregistered and there's reverse charge liability for specified goods under reverse charge by notification number 4/2017 or services 13/2017, you generate the self-invoice to yourself as a recipient and pay the liability where the credit is not available. Even though it is not getting auto-populated, credit going to be available. Third situation, I'm giving it to you, which I'm getting as a practical query from many corners. I do not know how many of you will be able to answer me, but let me ask this query. I'm a supplier. I have raised the invoice, let's say on 29th of January. 29th of January. Listen very carefully. So Kapil, I'm going to discuss some more thing. Let's carry on with me. I'm a supplier. I've raised the invoice on 29th of January. And I've furnished in my GSTR1 also. Getting auto-populated in GSTR 2B for my recipient for the month of January. But you have received the goods on 5th of February. On 5th of February. Tell me whether you as a recipient or buyer can avail credit for GSTR 3B of January. Is it possible? Say yes or no. I'm looking only this much answer, yes or no. So lot of yes, lot of no, and my answer H. You can't avail credit in GSTR 3B of January for the reason you have not received the goods. And there's a provision in the law under section 16, subsection 2, you need to satisfy all 5 conditions now. And receipt of goods or services is one of the conditions. So you're receiving goods in the month of February, even though getting auto-populated, but still credit. You cannot read section 16, subsection 2, subclause AA in isolation. You need to satisfy all other conditions. Hope I'm clear to all of you. Now, next situation. As a supplier, if I'm a monthly filer, Now this provision is prospective. Someone has asked me in chat box, sir, this credit dependent on GSTR 2B is a prospective clause or retrospective clause? Prospective means applicable only from January 1, 2022. Answer is it is prospective clause, and there should not be any doubt. And that is the reason I concluded also that for the period prior to January 1, 2022, period prior to, my credit is not dependent on 2A or 2B. I said that, right? Now coming back. From January 1, 2022, there would be supplier filing GSTR1 monthly basis by 11th of next month, which is 11th of February. There may be quarterly filer, and through invoice furnishing facility, they are being allowed by 13th of next month, which is 13th February. And 2B is getting auto-populated on 14th of next month, which is 14th of February. Now look at the interesting part, which is not being discussed anywhere and analyzed anywhere, which I'm doing in front of you. If I'm a monthly filer, my supplier is monthly filer. Instead of 11th, which is due date for filing GSTR1, if we file a GSTR1 on 12th of next month or 13th of next month, is it going to be auto-populated? Please tell me. Is it going to be auto-populated in GSTR 2B, which is getting auto-populated on 14th of next month, 14th of February? Lot of yes and no. Lot of yes and no. And that shows still we have to really check ourselves. I'm being told, sir, GSTR 2B, which is auto-populated on 14th of next month, also take the information which is being filed on 12th and 13th. 12th of February and 13th of February. Kindly have a cross-check. Kindly have a cross-check. So I do not know whether it is system fault or it is being allowed. So even though after due date, supplier filing GSTR1 on 12th and 13th and getting auto-populated in GSTR2B on 14th, kindly check on system. I'm telling you, I'm not concluding anything here. But eventually, if at all I need to follow section 16, subsection 2, subclause AA, then that should be as per the due date file, as per the due date file. But there are two systems. One is the law, one is the GST and common portal. And they are still not married as yet. And there is still disconnect. I'm only saying there's some Ashwini Kumar Gupta, so I'm not saying anything no or yes to it. I'm only saying that there's a law provision which need to be replicated on GST and common portal. But sometimes we find the disconnect. Disconnect because law is different and GSTN is behaving different. So this is another part of the story. But nevertheless, if at all we have to summarize this point, I need to get your yes and no. My first summary. Okay, there's some advocate Deepak Gupta is saying portal is also taking as per due date. Deepak ji, lena bhi yahi chahiye. Portal must auto-populate GSTR 2B of January, which is filed by due date only. That is also my conclusion. There should not be disconnect. That is the point I'm making to all of you. But now let's decide, all of us together, the first point which we are summarizing. Period prior to January 1, 2022. My opinion. My credit is not dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. Please tell me yes or no. So that we really conclude today, this is what we learned today. All of us, yes. So Max, I think still some one candidate wrote, I think yes. Oh, mere paas fir answer nahi hai. That is what my interpretation and my humble summation. Post 1st January 2022. Now, second point, judgment. My credit is dependent on GSTR 2B, but subject to certain correction, which you can edit in your GSTR 3B, like import of goods, import of services, even though not getting auto-populated, but credit is available. And even it is coming in 2B because invoice raised by supplier on January 29, furnished in January GSTR1 of supplier, but goods received on 5th of February. Even though auto-populated, but you should not take credit in the month of January, for the month of January of GSTR 3B. Do we all agree? Say yes or no? Say yes or no? Now last point to summarize. Maximum of you are saying yes. So I go with you that we all are agreeing for that. Last point to summarize. Now what happened? If I'm your supplier and I have wrongly quoted, wrongly furnished GSTN number of my recipient. Post 1st January 2022, galti ho gayi. I have wrongly furnished GSTN number of some other party instead of you. It is not going to be auto-populated in GSTR 2B. Credit is available or not available. And there may be a transaction B2B captured as a B2C. Credit will not be available. Credit will not be available. So what is the third learning? Third learning. Post 1st January 2022, you have to ensure whatever credit avail in GSTR 3B as per your books of accounts should be cross-checked with GSTR 2B. At most required. Now you cannot plead that this GSTR 2A or 2B is by way of rule. It is now part of the act. You have to cross-check, so know your supplier. Make sure you're dealing with such supplier who are tax compliant. Am I clear? Say yes in a chat box that you all agree with me. Say yes in a chat box. Now this is what need to be. There's no escape route. No escape route. Now the last point to conclude this first myth area. Automation is the mantra as a way forward. We have to have a robust system. We have to move from manual to automation. We have to ensure our supplier is a tax compliant supplier. And this is again important point. And please tell me if you have wrongly availed the credit. If you have wrongly availed the credit. Assume hypothetically, I'm just posting to you. Second point. If you have wrongly availed the credit and you realize that you have availed the credit wrongly. So there are two situations coming out. Wrongly availed credit but not utilized. Or wrongly availed credit but utilized. So wrongly availed but not utilized. Wrongly availed but utilized. So wrongly availed and utilized, second point. So once you realize your mistake and you're reversing credit, option one, credit wrongly availed but not utilized, you're reversing now. After a period of, let's say 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, with the interest is leviable on reversal of such credit which is not utilized. Please tell me yes or no. Yes or no. There are some yes, there are some no. There's rate of interest also 24%. Somebody has said to me in a chat box. My answer. No interest. No interest, I'm repeating again, on reversal of credit, wrongly availed but not utilized. Region. Under section 50, subsection 1, we are liable to pay interest, no denial. And this interest is leviable when there is non-payment of tax or short payment of tax. Non-payment of tax or short payment of tax. So if credit wrongly availed but not utilized, then it is not resulting into any non-payment or short payment. Credit मैंने गलत लिया, but I have not utilized the same. So it is not resulting into non-payment or short payment. Hence, no interest on reversal of wrongly availed credit but not utilized. Second situation, credit wrongly availed and utilized. Now you're reversing. Tell me interest is leviable. Please tell me interest is leviable. Say yes or no. So answer is yes. Only difference will come rate of interest. I am sure. 18% or 24%. Now next question, 18% or 24%. So see, mixed answer, right? 4.5 years of GST. As per me, it is 18% leviable, not the 24%. And look at my argument. 24% is applicable when there is credit mismatch. And what is credit mismatch? Let's say supplier has charged 18%. And you as a recipient avail 28%. This is called credit mismatch, which is not matching. Go to section 41 and 42. Please listen very carefully. 24% going to be applicable. Manish Kumar Joshi is writing in a chat box, 18% stated by majority of expert. Oof, GST is full of expert. Majority of experts. So now he's giving judgment on the basis of majority of expert, but I'm not giving on the basis of majority. Listen my argument and you conclude by yourself. You become judge today. Let me the arguing counsel. Let me advocate today. When there is credit mismatch, and what is credit mismatch? I've charged 18%, you have availed 28%. That is called credit mismatch. But if I've wrongly availed credit, 18% charge, you have availed 18%, but this was not eligible to you. That is the reason it is called wrongly availed. And now you're reversing the same before utilization. So this is not the case of credit mismatch. So section 41 and 42 is the reference of what is being furnished by the supplier and what is being taken by the recipient. That is called credit mismatch. There it is being stated 24%. Otherwise 18% applicable. So Kapil Thadani saying, sir, CA final में GST पढ़ा दो. कपिल भाई जरूर करेंगे, अच्छी तरह करेंगे. पहले यहाँ आज कंप्लीट करें. यहाँ हम सारे प्रोफेशनल बैठे हुए हैं. So my last conclusion on this credit age, credit availed and utilized. Credit wrongly availed and utilized. Interest लगेगा. But what is the rate of interest? 18% per annum. I hope I'm clear to all of you. So I just want to see yes in a chat box. एक बार chat box में yes बोलिए, मुझे लगेगा कि हाँ हम लोग एकदम सही जा रहे हैं एकदम. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now coming to the second burning topic. Second burning topic. Now you know that GST law is getting stringent day by day. Day by day. Why stringent? For the reason of they want to, they means government. आप कहीं कुछ और सोचना start मत कर दीजिएगा. They means government I'm referring to. They want to stop tax evader. They want to bring deterrent provision against the tax evader. Means government is willing to provide provision which is deterrent provision against the tax evader. But irony is, at ground level, the GST official starts using such provision against genuine and honest taxpayer. That is the irony of this country. Let me take 2 points, rather 3 points, one by one. Henceforth, from January 1, 2022, the myth. First, what is the myth? When GST was introduced, they have referred section 37, 38, 39, 41, 42. They have referred. And what they said, Bimal, GST going to provide automized GST return system. Automized GST return system, right? GSTR1 to be filed by the supplier, getting auto-populated in GSTR2A of recipient. And recipient can add, modify, and delete and file GSTR2. In case recipient is doing any add, modify, and delete, then that gets auto-populated in GSTR1A of the supplier. And supplier has to either accept or reject. And then GSTR3, it was envisaged, a dream in GST law. And myth is, kuch nahi hua. All, you know, when we start talking big. System was not ready. And eventually, whatever problem we are finding today, we are finding these problems, and I want to have your concurrence. Law has given good provision, provided it was properly implemented on GSTN portal. GSTN portal. Since my portal was not ready, and we could not implement the provision of GST law, that's the reason today we are finding all these changes are coming, as a, Stepney. Stepney means just you're finding time gap management. Am I right in saying so? Please tell me in the chat box. I'm looking for the answer. This is what my understanding today. And this is what the irony and problem of the today. Thank you very much. So look at the three important changes, which is stringent provision, now introduced from January 1, 2022. So what is the first one? They are saying, Bimal, if you have not filed GSTR 3B for the preceding period, you will not be able to file GSTR 1 for the succeeding period. Rule 59, sub-rule 6 of CGST Rule 2017. For example, if I have not filed GSTR 3B for January 2022, then I will not be able to file GSTR 1 for the month of February 2022. One way, this is a good provision. We have seen in the past, a lot of supplier used to file GSTR 1 and passing on the credit to the recipient. But they were not paying taxes. Problem, they were not paying taxes. So this provision is good provision from one perspective, deterrent against the tax evader. But that is what the provision is now made applicable. अगर आपने 3B नहीं भरा तो आप सक्सीडिंग मंथ से GSTR 1 नहीं भर सकते. सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है ना? Good one. Now, let me tell you, tomorrow we are having managing committee meeting of PSD Chamber of Commerce, and we have invited Additional Secretary of GST Council, Dr. C.S. Mohapatra. I'm going to ask one query tomorrow to Additional Secretary of GST Council, and listen, this question I'm sharing with you today, which I'm going to ask tomorrow to Additional Secretary of GST Council. I will say, sir, you have made very good provision. If I have not filed GSTR 3B of January, I will not be able to file GSTR 1 of my February month. You have made very good provision. Then I will ask, sir, I'm a small taxpayer. Some voice coming, Prerna, कहीं किसी की आवाज आ रही है. रोहित के यहाँ से या कहीं से आवाज आ रही है?
Yeah, Rohit, yeah, he is muted.
Rohit. Yes, muted. All right. Okay. Okay, listen now. I'm going to ask this query to Additional Secretary GST Council. I will ask, sir, you said very good that if I'm not filing GSTR 3B for January, I will not be able to file my GSTR 1 for February. Bahut acha, very good. But I'm going to ask him, sir, there are lot many small taxpayers. I'm a chartered accountant. And I'm raising invoice and my liability is on accrual basis. Even though I've not received the money, if I have raised the invoice, I need to pay GST from my pocket. Right? This is the provision as on date. In pre-GST, there was provision up to 50 lakh rupees. I was supposed to pay service tax only on receipt basis. This was the provision in pre-GST, service tax provision. But in GST, no mercy. Bimal, you are only having turnover of 50 lakh rupees. If you have raised the invoice, you have to pay GST from your own pocket. If you don't pay, then rate of interest is 18% per annum. 18% per annum. I'm going to ask, this Additional Secretary, sir, small taxpayer, first, they are not getting paid on time. And I'm looking for the answer from each one of you. I know that this provision is deterrent against the tax evader. Those who are filing GSTR 1, passing on the credit and not paying the taxes. This provision is being meant for them. But look at the irony of this provision. I have raised my GSTR 1. I may not be able to file GSTR 3B for want of my working capital. I'm a small taxpayer. First, I'm not being paid. I'm not received the money from my customer. And you want me to deposit this money? You want me to deposit this money? Where from I will deposit? I'm not having working capital. You're saying, Bimal, if you don't deposit, rate of interest is 18% per annum. What you're forcing me, Bimal, go to the bank, take the loan at 12% rate of interest and pay GST liability. Is it the way we have to really grow together? We have to boost and support to the small timer. Now there's someone, Bhavesh Jain, they have quarterly payment, quarterly. That is what he's saying, quarterly payment. A quarterly payment CMP 08, my dear friend, please listen. CMP 08, now please try to appreciate why I'm saying so. There are a lot many small taxpayers which they are struggling with their working capital. So there's some CA Rakesh Arora is now writing and correctly writing, small taxpayer must be given some option. And this is what I was referring and I was telling each one of you. I was telling that the provision which you're bringing. So see, Jitendra Soni is saying, correctly said, it is not quarterly payment. It is quarterly return, monthly payment, QRMP. I don't know. Some of you write down in a chat box in a quickest manner, but never realized that what is the actual reality. It is QRMP, quarterly return, monthly payment. Please wake up. And this is what we are looking, help, support to the small sector, small taxpayer. Do you all agree? Say yes. मैंने एक provision भी आपको बता दिया, एक representation का point भी आपको बता दिया कि हमारा representation का point क्या है. Hope all of you agree. Very well done. Thank you very much. Coming to the third connected point. And listen very carefully. Up till now, we are going fine. We are understanding synergy is there. We are on same pace, sync together. Maja bhi aa raha hai. And I'm also liking that a lot of you are answering. That is advantage to all of us. So Kapil Thadani is saying in India, small taxpayers should talk to CA. See, Kapil, shall I tell you? CA has got their own integrity and respect. Kindly respect that part. Come back now. I'm a registered person in GST, right? I'm filing my GST R1 and I'm looking for the answer. My outward supply is only 50,000 rupees, only 50,000. But wrongly furnished my outward supply as a 5 lakh rupees. Ek zero बढ़ गया, just 1 0. And you know, when we file GST R1, पहले तो वो रात को ही return दिन में तो जाते नहीं. Always हम रात को ही भरते हैं. सोते सोते में एक जीरो बढ़ गया, 50,000 का 5 लाख हो गया. कहीं एक और जीरो बढ़ जाता तो 50 लाख हो जाता, और एक जीरो और बढ़ जाता तो 5 करोड़ रुपए. Just think, my outward supply only 50,000 rupees, but wrongly furnished as a 5 lakh rupees. Wrongly furnished. Clerical error. On realizing the same, मुझसे गलती हो गई है. On realizing the same, I made the mistake. I can't revise my GSTR1 once filed. I can't revise. I can at most amend the same in subsequent month. So no option in my hand. Now I need to file GSTR3B, right? I need to file my GSTR3B for the same month. I'm going to pay the taxes. Quite obvious, I'm going to pay taxes only on 50,000 rupees, not on 5 lakh rupees. Quite obvious. So there's difference of 4,50,000 rupees. So difference of 4,50,000 because wrongly shown outward supply in GSTR1 versus GSTR3B. My question to all of you, with a GST department. So Rishabh Sharma, before I am answering, He's very prompt in a chat box. He's saying, sir, before listening to you, let me give my proposal to you. So ऋषभ ने सबसे पहले अपना proposal भेजा. Sir, revision का option दे दीजिए. And that is what here GST we are learning, right? But look at the provision, which is now effective from January 1, 2022. Listen very carefully. They're saying, Bimal, this 4,50,000 would be, you have to calculate the GST, and that would be your self-assessment tax. And please tell me my question. Please tell me your answer to my question. Whether department can recover rather. I should use the term recover GST on the self-assessment tax, which is calculated on 4,50,000, and that too without issuance of so-called notice. And so-called notice under Section 73 non-fraud cases, Section 74 fraud cases, where the department can collect. Tell me, is it possible they can recover? So lot of yes, lot of no, lot of answers are coming out. Yes, no, yes, no. Logically. Let me tell you, I was discussing this subject matter with the topmost CBIC officials. Listen very carefully. And I was telling them, and you please give your concurrence to my observation. I told to the officers, I said, sir, you have made this provision. I know for what reason you have made. You have made this provision that someone filing GSTR1 for 5 lakh rupees as against 50,000 and passing on the credit, but not paying corresponding taxes through GSTR3B. So this is deterrent provision against such tax evader. But what is going to happen in the trade? I raised first point, sir, you have not given revision option. Look at the honest and genuine taxpayer. You have not given revision option. Second, error is human. I can also make mistake, and this mistake is being made. You should have given me some reasonable time to amend my GSTR1, maybe 2 months, maybe 4 months, maybe 6 months, so that I could have amended my GSTR1 so as reconcile with GSTR3B. Then you could have said it is self-assessment tax. I can recover the same without issuance of so-called notice. Then you could have said. And third, I have asked him, sir, even though you have made the provision that it is self-assessment tax can be recovered without issuance of so-called notice, you cannot recover from me, from the law. You cannot recover from me. Then he was astonished. He was asking me, Bimalji, how you're saying that I can't recover? Then I quoted to him, and I'm quoting to all of you. You go to section 37, subsection 3 of CGST Act. And 37 talks about filing of GSTR1. GSTR1. If there is any omission or error, you can amend your GSTR1 by September of next financial year, following the end of financial year to which it pertains. So 37 subsection 3 is giving me a right that I can amend, and that to September of next financial year. Go to section 39 subsection 9 of CGST Act. This is also giving me power to amend my GSTR3B by September of next financial year, following the end of financial year to which data pertains, for any omission or error. So I said 75 subsection 12 explanation is only overriding 73 and 74. But under section 37 subsection 3, read with 39 subsection 9, then what happened? I can amend my GSTR1 and GSTR3B. Please tell me, this is the legal point which I've drawn from the provision. I've drawn from the provision and Bhavesh to you. Even though 37 is being linked to 41 and 42, but amendment power is being given within the law, within the section 37 subsection 3 and 39 subsection 9 read together. Please tell me this is the legal law position. Do you all agree? But before you agree, let me put last point. Then after listening to me, officers say to me, Bimalji, you are right. We will issue a clarification, and a clarification got issued. They say we will not start recovery at first go. First, we will send the notice and look for the clarification from the taxpayer. My only worry is that at ground level, they are not listening. They take action without getting into the theme, intention of the legislator. And that's the problem and irony of this country. But this is what the third important burning topic, that the self-assessment tax can be recovered even without issuance of so-called notice. Clarification is being issued, but I given you the law position whereby I can amend my GSTR 1 and 3B, and that too by September of next financial year, pertaining to financial year to which this data pertains. Am I clear to all? Please tell me in a chat box that you all agree with me. Please tell me in a chat box. Yes, sir, we are all agreeing. And that is what we are liking and enjoying today. Thank you very much. Fully agreed. Yes, sir. मजा आ गया. Very well done. मुझे भी बहुत मजा आ रहा है आज आप लोगों के साथ. मैं देख तो पा नहीं रहा. I'm not being able to see. मेरे सामने प्रेरणा बैठी है. बस प्रेरणा अगर स्माइल दे देती है तो मुझे समझ में आ जाता है. हाँ, आपको समझ में आ रहा है. कई बार गौरव भाई भी दिख जाते हैं. तो गौरव भाई भी अगर स्माइल दे देते हो तो मुझे समझ में आ जाता है. हाँ, आपको समझ में आ रहा है. See, it is all member of parliament. MP है ना, representative of you all. So they are sitting in front of me. But I'm thanking each one of you that you all are getting the pointers which I wanted to pass on to all of you. Okay. So next point, important one. One provision which is again burning topic. I do not know how many of you are aware of, but that is again burning topic. Let me start with one example, and then I will carry on this provision, discussing the provision. Let's say I'm a registered person in GST. You become registered person in GST. You all are registered person in GST. And there's one search conducted at your premises. Search by either DCGI or anti-evasion team under section 67 of CGST Act. How many of you have handled the search? I'm not aware, but I'm just giving this context to you. Search is being conducted at your premises. During the search, you must have seen that department, whoever coming in. There one Mr. Bibek Kumar Dubey, who is responding in a chat box. I know him in person, but not referring much. But what happened during those search, that those authority who are coming for the search, first they will start putting pressure on you, coercive action. And they will tell you, Bimal, you deposit this money. If you don't deposit this money, we are going to arrest you. My first threatening, coercive action. That's what I have come across. Why threatening? Why coercive action? I'm going to discuss one live case study. From Himachal, so there's one CMA, Ashwini Kumar Gupta, he's saying, sir, yes, we are faced. Listen very carefully. From Himachal, one industrialist has come to me and he was referring me, Bimalji, very problem in GST. GST is not getting good and simple. I said, what happened to you? Then he said, Bimalji, small query. मुझे तो कई बार ये समझ में नहीं आता जीएसटी में बड़ी क्वेरी है भी या नहीं है. सबके पास स्मॉल क्वेरी है, छोटी सी क्वेरी. मैंने कहा पूछ लीजिए, छोटी क्वेरी है. और छोटी क्वेरी क्यों पूछने वाला है? फीस नहीं देनी है. बड़ी बोल देंगे तो फीस हो जाएगी. तो स्मॉल क्वेरी. मैंने कहा ठीक है, पूछिए स्मॉल क्वेरी, पूछिए. He asked me, Bimal ji, देखिए, I'm a client. I purchased goods from B. So C has purchased the goods from B, right? And B has purchased the goods from A. That is what the supply chain all about. And he was telling me, Bimalji, when this department authority came, they said to see you have taken fake credit. Fake credit. I asked him, why they are saying fake credit? Then he referred to me, sir, what they were saying that B has procured the goods from A and that is the fake credit. So look at the transaction first, then we will conclude. We all will conclude. A has supplied to B, B has supplied to C. There was search at the premises of C. And C is being alleged have taken fake credit. On the basis of credit in the hands of B was fake. Kaise hua? Let's assume A was only cutting the invoices. Cutting the invoices, you all understand. Filing GSTR 1. Getting auto-populated in GSTR 2A of B. But A was not filing GSTR 3B. B was using the same credit for discharging his output tax and filing GSTR 3B, right? And it was coming in GSTR 2A of C. This is the transaction all about. Now, department is saying C has taken credit of the taxes paid by B, but B has used the credit which was fake credit. From one angle, it is correct because government has not collected the tax. A has not paid the tax and that is being used as a credit by B and hence it is fake, correct. And at one point it is very, very correct. But second point, listen, this is the argument I'm putting forth and you all become judge for me today. Judge for me today. I told to the authority, I have represented this client and meet with the officials and said to him, sir, you're saying C has taken fake credit. You tell me, what is the option in the hands of C? C can at most check compliances of B. Whether B is filing GSTR 1, whether B is filing GSTR 3B. There is no window available before me. I can check where from B is purchasing. And you are saying C's credit is fake credit on the allegation of A, which as a C I can't see. I can only see B. C can only see B. Do you all agree? Do you first you tell me, do you all agree with me? Say yes in a chat box. Yes, this is the very logical point. C can't see beyond the B. And if there's any fake supply, any player who is doing fake invoicing to B, I just see I can't see, I'm a bona fide one. How come you can allege my credit is a fake credit, C's credit is a fake credit? You all agree with me. You all agree with me, right? You all agree with me. I sounded to the officer, but still department was insisting, no Bimalji, nothing. You have to deposit some money. You have to deposit some money. Otherwise, I'm going to arrest you. Otherwise, I'm going to arrest you. Now, source of the source cannot be asked. Saurabh Gaurav Agrawal ji ने हमारे लिए कुछ लाइन लिखी, एक लाइन लिखी. गौरव भाई ने एक अच्छी सी लाइन लिखी हम लोगों के लिए. Source of the source cannot be asked. पूछ लेते प्रोवाइडर, मुझे मालूम तो पड़ना चाहिए ना, मुझे दिखना चाहिए ना, विंडो अवेलेबल होनी चाहिए ना. If window is not available, I cannot go beyond B. I can see at most B. So please tell me where I'm wrong. So first he was putting me, Bimalji, arrest if you don't deposit. So coercive action, harassment, threatening. My question goes to all of you. Do we really require to deposit some money during search and which you're not agreeing for? Do we require as per GST law? As per GST law. Every one of you will say no. I'm sure every one of you will say no. I'm damn sure about it. But करें क्या यार? उस टाइम पे ना तो गौरव जी की कोई सुनता है ना बिमल जी की कोई सुनता है. और प्रेरणा से किसी ने पूछ लिया तो बोलेंगे भाई अभी अभी, अभी आप नए नए आए हो ना जीएसटी में, तो ऐसे करके वो उनको चुप करा देंगे, बट हमें जमा करवा लेते हैं. They get money deposited through coercive action, through harassment, through pressurizing tactics. There's one live case, one from Madras High Court. Madras High Court. Sri Nandi Dhal Mills India Limited. Sri Nandi Dhal Mills India Limited. As per this judgment, it is being stated, department has got some money deposited on the pretext that they were liable to pay. Later on, registered person has retracted his statement and said he was not liable at all, and whatever he has deposited, it must be refunded back, and that too along with interest. Honorable Madras High Court in the case of Sri Nandi Dhal Mills India Limited. It is being held. There is no provision. Please listen very carefully. There is no provision in the GST law for making payment which is termed as advance payment, either under section 73 or 74. 73 is a non-fraud case and 74 is a fraud case. There is no provision, first of all, no provision. Under section 73 or 74, subsection 5, they are saying on own ascertainment, on your own ascertainment, first, if you agree there's a liability and you ascertain by yourself, then you may pay by DRC 03 or as calculated by the department officer and you agree for the same, then only you need to deposit. Otherwise, there is no provision. So first, let me have concurrence from all of you. Do you all agree? Do you all agree there is no advance payment of GST unless there is own ascertainment or calculated by the officer and you agree for the same? All yes, all yes. So this is the case. Now I want to connect this issue with one of the draconian provision, draconian. And I have not said draconian. It is being stated by none other than Honorable Supreme Court Judge Sri D.Y. Chandrachud. I'm not saying, मैंने अपने मुंह से कुछ नहीं बोला. This provision which I'm going to refer now is being stated as a draconian provision. See D.Y. Chandrachud of Honorable Supreme Court while listening the SLP in the case of Sri Radha Krishnan Industries. Honorable Supreme Court Judge has said draconian provision. It is pertaining to provisional attachment of property or bank account of any taxable person. So there is some change which is coming from January 1, 2022. So you need to listen very carefully. And I will go a little slow so that you can, grasp the provision properly. I will discuss the provision prior to 1st January 2022, and I'm going to discuss the provision post 1st January 2022. Prior to 1st January 2022, the provision was during pendency of any proceedings, under section 62, which is base judgment, 63, judgment of unregistered person, 64, scrutiny assessment, 67, inspection, search and seizure, 73 and 74, during the pendency of any proceedings under section 62, 63, 64, 67, 73 and 74. If commissioner is of the opinion, अब आपको समझ में आ गया ना, is of the opinion? I'm not deliberating much. You must have understood the meaning of is of the opinion, how they frame their opinion. Is of the opinion, and to protect the government revenue, they can provisionally attach property or bank account of any taxable person. And such provisional attachment order is valid for 1 year. This was the provision prior to 1st January 2022. What is the change coming in from 1st January 2022? What is the change going to happen? Now it is a wake-up call for all of us together. Wake-up call, wake-up call. On initiation of proceedings, so from pendency, they have changed the provision on initiation of any proceedings under Chapter 12, Chapter 14, and Chapter 15. So Chapter 12, Chapter 14, and Chapter 15 even contain, if any notice is being sent for scrutiny of return, summon is being issued, they are being given power, provisional assessment, they are being given power, they can provisionally attach. Commissioner is of the opinion he can provisionally attach property and bank account of taxable person. Yahan tak to baat theek hai. My question goes to all of you, whether he can pass an order for provisional attachment of property or bank account of any person. Please tell me. This is my question to all of you. I'm only consultant to a company. I'm only helping you, or I'm only manager GST. I'm looking after GST operation of a company. I'm a company secretary. I'm a director of a company. Whether department can really attach my property. My property. Of course, I can understand attachment of property of bank account and property of company is understandable. But can they attach my property? Company secretary, manager, GST, director, or I'm only consultant. Please wake up call. I said wake up call. For your information, From January 1, 2022, this section 83, subsection 1 is getting substituted. Now they are giving power that commissioner can provisionally attach property and bank account of any person as referred under section 122, subsection 1A. First, you wake up. Now they are saying they can pass provisional attachment order against property and bank account of any person. And who is this any person? As referred under section 122, subsection 1A. So what is this section referring to? There are 4 specified offenses. If you are a consultant or company secretary or director or manager excise, and you happen to causes to commit and retaining benefit for 4 specified offenses. Please careful, 4 specified offenses. The first one, supply of goods or services without invoice, which is called cash sale. Second, issuance of invoice without supply of goods or services, which is called fake invoice. Third, you're availing or utilizing credit without actual receipt of goods or services. And last, ISD credit, input service distributor credit, wrongly avail in contravention of section 20 of CGST Act. If you are a person who causes to commit and retaining benefit out of it for these 4 specified offenses, then department can also provisionally attach your property and bank account along with the property and bank account of any taxable person. So wake up. And the kind of reference on initiation of any proceedings under chapter 12, 14 and 15, आपको summon issue हुआ है बस. Only summon is being issued. They can pass an order for provisional attachment. And I started sharing this provision with the context of comment made by none other than Honorable Supreme Court Judge Sri D.Y. Chandrachud. And he has said it is draconian in law. And in my humble submission, of course, draconian in law. And we have to be careful. Now, here I want to give you one food for thought. If you are falling under any person, maybe consultant, maybe manager, maybe company secretary, maybe director, you must take one indemnity letter from the concerned company. To whomsoever it may concern, this is to certify that I am performing this activity on the basis of data information as provided by the company so and so. And they will certify that these facts and figures are true and correct. In case of any violation of GST law, company would be solely responsible for any contravention of GST law. And if anything goes against that particular person in whose favor the certificate is being given, company is going to indemnify along with interest, penalty, cost, and all legal consequences. Take at least one later to be safeguarded. Second, when you're performing for the client, please make sure that you should do some due diligence. Those days are gone. 500 rupees mein return bharte the. Please, wake up call. I'm telling you, wake up call. Leave those practices aside. Leave those practices aside. It is very, very important. See, there is one Mr. Vijay Kumar again from Chennai. He said department has issued guidelines. When they have issued these guidelines, you know, there was one Gujarat High Court judgment, Vinod Kumar, Bimal Kumar Chechani case. Guidelines is being issued. Please tell me, I'm asking each one of you, whether department really follow their own guidelines. Had it been the case, then case will not go to the High Court and Supreme Court. And why Honorable Supreme Court has to say draconian in law? That is what the irony of this country. These guidelines are only on paper, never implemented physically. I'm only telling you that please make sure you take something in your favor and stop practicing for 500 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees. Provide quality, content, excellency, capability, and charge money. दो का काम करेंगे पर अच्छा करेंगे. That is my tagline. दो बोलते हैं ना, we do not need 100 friends. We need only one good friend. That is what way forward for the client also. Take one good client. Provide quality and charge money instead of having 100 clients and botheration on your head. Please. That would be my humble submission. But I've shared my topic to you, section 83, subsection 1. That is what the provision all about. Please tell me, am I right in saying so? Say yes, then I will move to next topic then. Say yes, then I will move to next topic. All right. So many yes, I'm thankful that all of you are liking. One thing is very clear. India is so united. Today we are having an audience from pan-India, from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, from AP, even from MP, from even western part of India. And we all are learning and understanding, irrespective of any language. That is the beauty of GST law. Not liking, sir, loving the session. Okay. So, T. Satya, sir, from where are you? Kapil is asking me from where I am. So Kapil, is still I have to do work hard. If you do not know where from I am, then I need to still work hard. Okay, next point, and very interesting point which I want to discuss with you. One more burning topic in GST myth, time limit to avail credit. What is the time limit to avail credit under GST? Am I right? Okay, so Kamlesh Dalalji is saying a session is really tonic for us, even tonic for me. I'm also taking the same tonic. That's the reason I'm being able to reproduce before you. So that is what the tonic for all of us. Let's listen now. Maybe 2-3 more topic of the day, and then at 9 o'clock sharp we will close. Maybe we will close and have 5-10 minutes question answer session also. Listen, time limit to avail credit. What is the time limit to avail credit? Section is section 16, subsection 4 of CGST Act. And what it is saying, it is earliest of due date. Earliest of due date. Due date for furnishing return of September of next financial year under section 39, following the end of financial year to which it pertains. So let's take an example that if I'm referring financial year 2021, then they are referring return to be furnished under section 39 for the month of September. So September 21. Under section 39, dispute was whether GSTR 3B is a return under section 39 as per the Honorable Gujarat High Court judgment in the case of AAP and Company, right? Even in the case of Bharti Airtel, Honorable Supreme Court. Now in these both the judgment, Bharti Airtel larger bench judgment has said GSTR 3B is a return under section 39. And that judgment is followed as a ratio decidendi in AAP and Company. So now 3B is a return under section 39. So this dispute is now gone, whether 3B is a return under section 39 or not. So what is the due date for filing 3B? Normally it is 20th October 2021. For financial year 2021, date would be 20th October 2021. Or date of furnishing annual return, which was 31st December. Now, fortunately, it is now 28th of February 2022. Am I clear to all? So earliest would be 20th October 2021, 20 October 2021. Now, please tell me, do we have any doubt pertaining to time limit to avail credit in GST? That is what we are referring, right? That is what we are referring. And listen very carefully. I'm going to do something good today where you would be liking all this thing. Listen very, very carefully. As per these two judgments, Bharti Airtel and which is being followed in AAP and Company by Honorable Supreme Court, one side now it is clear that GSTR 3B is a return under section 39. I'm not disputing, but still one question is left open-ended. That this GSTR 3B got introduced by way of rule, Rule 61, Sub-Rule 5. And that too retrospectively, once Gujarat High Court judgment came that GSTR 3B is not a return under section 39. So by way of rule, they have inserted GSTR 3B, that too retrospectively by notification number 49/2019. This constitutional validity of retrospective amendment in the rule is not being tested as yet. Even Bharti Airtel, they have not tested as yet. Bharti Airtel has agreed that GSTR 3B is a return under section 39. And that was followed as a ratio decidendi. That was followed as a ratio decidendi in AAP and Company. This is the first open point. Now, what are the open nook and corners where we can conclude, we can really get some clarity on this? The one point which still I feel can be debated, I'm saying debated. I'm not saying that I'm not agreeing for that. If you go to section 16, subsection 2, section 16, subsection 2, it is starting with a non-obstante clause, notwithstanding anything contained in this section. This is what it is being written. Notwithstanding anything contained in this section, meaning thereby it is overriding section 16, subsection 4. No registered person shall take the ITC unless satisfy the 4 condition. Now with the 5th condition. So maybe one argument can be done before the court, my lord. Section 16, subsection 2 is starting with the non-obstante clause, even overriding section 16, subsection 4. Hence, if I'm satisfying the 4 condition for availing ITC, then time limit need not require to be looked into. This may be one of the provision yet to be tested, need to be tested. Do you all agree? First tell me yes or no in a chat box. Say yes or no. need to be tested. I'm not saying that it is crystal clear. I will give you my submission as well. Now, a lot of yes is coming. My answer to all of you. So the context of section 16, subsection 2, and the context of section 16, subsection 4 is different. Whenever we go to Supreme Court and look at the meaning of non-obstante clause, it is always read in the context of it is being written. If section 16, subsection 2 is starting with a non-obstante clause, then it will be in the context of condition for availing credit. Hence, time limit condition as provided under section 16, subsection 4 is independent and cannot be override by this non-obstante clause. Maybe this argument is possible. I'm giving food for thought for both the way to look at the provision. Do you all understood my point? First, say in a chat box that you understood my point. Say yes in a chat box. You understood my point. That what is the context of section 16, subsection 2, and what is the context of section 16, subsection 4? Okay, the one part of the story. Second part of the story.
I believe there is some technical issue from sir side.
Correct. I
So-
believe there was a power cut or something, because there was a blink before getting his video post.
So, but the thing is, I apologize for the disturbance in between. Actually, I had to leave from my office, but I really don't want to miss a single moment of sir session. तो इसलिए मैंने while driving मैंने वो अपने phone में on कर लिया था, तो so that I can hear
He's back.
the
Sir
deliberation.
is back.
Yeah.
Am I there now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
We can see you.
Yeah. So there's power cut here. So my connection is now connected with mobile. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, so shall I start now? All right, thank you. So I was on a point that what is the context of section 16, subsection 2, and the context of section 16, subsection 4. Now coming to the second point. This section 16, subsection 4 talks about the time limit to avail credit on the basis of invoice or debit note pertain to a particular financial year. Now, if I'm a registered person, I'm procuring goods or services from my supplier, then supplier is raising the invoice, furnishing in GSTR1, getting auto-populated in my 2B. This is the one part of the story. But what happened when there is reverse charge liability? RCM, I need to pay. As a recipient, I need to pay. So in this context, there are two kinds of supplier registered, but reverse charge liability. Supplier unregistered, but still reverse charge liability because specified goods or services for the RCM liability. Please tell me, advocate, let's say one advocate giving services to me, and services was given to me on 1st of January 2019, 18-19, pertaining financial year 18-19. Advocate given service to me for 10 lakh, and it is reverse charge liability in my hand pertaining to 18-19. Now, this advocate is not registered. As a recipient, I need to pay. So I'm asking some question, please reply back to me in the chat box. By when I was supposed to pay RCM liability as per section 13 of CGST Act? Please tell me, anyone comfortable? You have not paid to the advocate, but there is RCM liability. By when you need to pay RCM liability? Please tell me, anyone. As of now, I haven't received any answer. As of now, in chat box, a lot of you are answering, but still I'm of the opinion, yaar, aap log mera test lete rehte ho. You all take my test only. When I'm taking your test, you're not being able to give me the answer. So mujhe bhi to kuch bolna padega na. You all always test me, and GST mein you're testing me. I must also, so there is Ghanshyam Singh, the first one. There's one guy who has responded back. Palapandi Aravindan, maybe from South. So Manish Kumar Joshi. Now I'm getting some answer. It is earliest of two, date of payment by the recipient or following the date at the end of 60 days from date of invoice. So 61st day going to be your RCM liability, irrespective of fact you have paid to the advocate or not. So aapki liability 1st March 2019 has arisen, which you haven't paid. Now today when you're listening Bimal Jain on 18 January 2022, you come across there was RCM liability which was due on 1st March 2019. 1st March 2019. What to be done? Your question would be first, sir, do I require to pay RCM liability? What is your answer? Say yes or no. Doge ya nahi doge, pehle ye bhi to bata do, yes, no to bol do kam se kam. Yes, doge. All are so honest taxpayer. Everyone is saying they will pay the liability. Is it to be paid in cash or through credit? Second question. Is it to be paid in cash or credit? Second question. In cash. Very well done. So good. I'm happy that everyone is giving good answer. Is it required to be paid along with interest? Third question. Interest lagega kya? Yes or no? Lagega kya? Interest? Bilkul lagega. There are few guys, they are saying no. Please, RCM aapki 1st March 2019 it has arisen. You have to pay along with interest. And what is the rate of interest? 18% or 24%? Next. 18 or 24? Well done. So very good, all of you. Prerna, you can stop me because I'm running through my mobile. So there may be some disconnectivity. If there's some disconnectivity, you can pause me. You can ask me to pause. I will pause accordingly. Otherwise, it's going perfect, right?
Yeah, it's going perfect.
Okay. So we have understood RCM liability in 1819. We are paying on 18th of January 2022. The $1 million question to be asked. $1 million question going to be asked, sir, can I take credit of 1819 if I'm paying today? Can I avail credit? That may be the question. Now here, my answer to all of you. Being unregistered supplier, which is advocate, you are paying liability as a registered recipient for specified services falling under notification number 13/2017, which would be the eligible document to avail credit for this RCM liability. Two provisions you have to keep in your mind. The self-invoice which you are generating under section 31, Section 3, Clause F of CGST Act. That self-invoice is an eligible document for availing credit. Self means you as a recipient would be self-generating the invoice. You were supposed to generate February, March 2019, which you didn't do. You didn't do. Now you're generating up January 20, March 2022, right? So there's one contravention you were supposed to reach in February or March 2019, which you're generating now in January 2022. At most, it is general penalty that you did not raise the self-invoice. Now you're generating the invoice in January 2022 and paying RCM liability in cash at the rate of 18% per annum interest. You can avail credit in GSTR 3B of January 2022, pertaining to financial year, which is 2021-22, which we are referring to. So this credit would be available. Only thing, there would be interest. And second, there's a penalty, 125 penalty for non-compliances. You were supposed to raise in 2019, but you're generating now in January 2022. Please tell me in a chat box, am I clear to all? Say yes, at least in a chat box, that it's clear to all of you that this credit is available. So a lot of yes, I'm thankful that a lot of yes and good one. One more correction, and this would be the interesting part of the discussion. If supplier happened to be registered supplier, but falling under reverse charge. So there are certain GTA transporter registered, no problem, registered. They are filing GSTR1, but taking their outward to be paid by the recipient. He has raised the invoice in January 2019. Take the same example forward. As against advocate, it is GTA who is a registered supplier, but under reverse charge, file GSTR1 and take that recipient need to pay reverse charge liability. Here invoice is already being generated in January 2019, furnished in GSTR1. Here you will not be generating self-invoice to yourself because it is the invoice of registered supplier subject to RCM. That invoice is the relevant and pertaining to 18-19 time period, gone. So pertaining to registered supplier under RCM, you will lose that credit on similar like supplier raising invoice under forward charge method. That would be my submission. Please tell me in a chat box you understood it properly. Please tell me in a chat box you understood it properly. Please tell me first yes बोलने का है कि हाँ आपको समझ में आ गया है. All right, well done. So all of you are saying yes. So please repeat last part. Okay, last part. Listen very carefully. Okay, let me do all three one by one. And आपको सबको yes करते हुए जाना है. Everyone has to say yes. First, I said if it is supplier under forward charge raising invoice to me, then his invoice would be the relevant document. And for arriving at time limit under section 16 subsection 4, which is at the earliest of due date, which I've said. ये part सबको clear है, कोई doubt नहीं है किसी को? Yes, all right, ठीक है. Second part, supplier but unregistered, but subject to RCM. Then recipient has to generate the self-invoice. And his self-invoice is the eligible document to avail credit. Even pertaining to 18-19, unregistered suppliers subject to RCM, I can generate self-invoice now and pay the liability along with interest. And there's a penalty, general penalty under section 125 for not generating self-invoice in the relevant tax period. Utna hi lagega, but credit would be available. Am I clear to this second part? Say yes in a chat box. एक बार quickly अगर आप yes लिखेंगे तो मुझे लगेगा you all are getting it and these things are going fine. Yes, am I clear to all? Perfect, perfect, well done, well done. Last point which I said, supplier is registered, GTA, but subject to RCM. So what he will do, if he is a registered supplier, then he will generate the invoice. Furnish in GSTR1. He will only tick subject to RCM. Means recipient has to pay the liability. So invoice is generated in 18-19. Now here self-invoice need not be generated. So that invoice would be a relevant document. Subject on payment. Subject on payment. RCM liability. So if it is pertaining to 18-19, अब आप उसका January 2022 में credit not available, which we have discussed for unregistered supplier in option 2. Am I clear now? Please tell me. Am I clear now? Perfect. So everyone is saying yes. So third component, this also we have discussed. So Umesh Chandragiri has said perfect. Last topic of the day. Last topic of the day. CA Shreya Gupta is also saying thank you. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you very much. Last topic of the day, and then we will conclude. Problem and provision. Bhavesh Jain is saying it is unfair. We pay in cash with interest, but credit nahi mila. Bhavesh Jain, kuch to practice bhi karni hai na yaar. Some practice. We will do it. Last topic of the day, and then we will sum up today. Listen very carefully. Last topic, and it is I'm going to connect with change happening from 1st January 2022. Before I take up this last topic, let me thank each one of you that all of you are, so tuned with me in a chat box, answering, responding, writing, and thanking to the panelists also like Prerna, Rohit, and Gaurav Bhai, that they are also tuned with me. They are sitting and they are also giving their smile to me as a representative of you all. So we all are connected. Being first day we are doing this program, so I was thinking, to make it live. Sometime, discussing technical provision with no practical, I'm sure that creates a problem. But I'm sure today practically you are getting all the points. So last point of the day. There's one more change effective from January 1, 2022. What is that change? There's explanation 1 Roman 2 after section 74. So I'm going to read this provision before 1st January and post 1st January 2022. Prior to 1st January 2022, the provision was, if any proceedings which is being initiated under section 73 or 74 is being concluded against the main noticee, then that shall be deemed as concluded for the penalty proceedings for co-noticee as well. And such proceedings under section 122, specified offences, 21 offences. The penalty is being prescribed for 21 offences, 125 general penalty, 129 penalty for detention, seizure, and release of goods or conveyance in transit, and 130 confiscation of goods or conveyance in transit. So theme is, if any proceedings concluded against the main noticee, then it shall be concluded for co-noticee, even for 122, 125, 129, and 130. And sometime notice issued, so-called notice to company, and penalty also levied on manager excise, manager service tax, director. Then if it is concluded against the main noticee, it will be concluded against the co-noticee for 122, 125, 129, 130. What is the change from January 1, 2022? What is the change? Now, reference of 129 and 130 is being omitted. So 129, penalty for e-Babel violation. They have they have omitted the reference of 129 and 130, meaning thereby, even though any proceedings against the main noticee is being concluded then these proceedings will be concluded for the core notice only for 122 and 125, not for penalty order for e-Babel violation. Pehla change to nahi kiya. This is the change they have made from 1st January 2022. And second stringent provision, what they have done, if any penalty order is being passed under section 129 subsection 3, penalty order for the e-Babel violation. And we all know how we get penalty order for the e-Babel violation. Sometime invoice number is not matching, HSN not matching, some description issue. We get penalty order from the ground level. And so much of e-Babel violation, you know, for small clerical error, we are getting penalty order. Now, first of all, this penalty is being increased from 100% to 200%. And now if you want to file appeal against such penalty order under section 107, subsection 6 of CGST Act from 1st January 2022, minimum pre-deposit of 25%. Minimum pre-deposit of 25%. Can you think of? And pre-deposit to be paid in cash. And penalty, to always you have to pay in cash. You can't use the credit account. So look at the irony. These laws are being made stringent day by day. I know these provisions are being made as a deterrent against the tax evader. As a deterrent against the tax evader. But this is being used against genuine and honest taxpayer, which I'm not liking at all. I'm not liking at all. But this is what the provision they have introduced, made effective from January 1, 2022. You have to wake up. Now, last point as a threat of today's deliberation. Today's deliberation was not on any particular topic. Gaurav bhai wanted me, when we were discussing about that he wanted to organize this certified GST course, he wanted me to suggest some topic to him. Which topic I will take up? I said, Gaurav bhai, whatever topic you want from GST, you let me know, I will take it up that topic. Then he said, Bimalji, do one thing. You know you're the master of subject matter, you do the way you want it. So I was thinking what to present before you. You know everything, all of you know everything, except small query. Except small query, chota sa question. But this small question has given a lot of laugh together, interesting together. GST is really becoming so good and simple that every day we are struggling what is the right answer, what is the wrong answer. And you never know, some of the participants may come back and say, majority of speakers say this is the answer. So he will judge, majority of has said like this. Last to sum up. At least from our side, we are trying to make GST good and simple text. Lot of GST changes we are uploading on our YouTube channel, through social media, connect on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you want to have GST knowledge, changes, and that too FOC, free of cost, sabka saath, sabka vikas. We are trying our best. You can connect with us. And we should charge high for all the queries. Advocate Deepak Gupta. Deepak ji, बहुत अच्छा question किया. और बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने कि we should charge high price. And Deepak ji, आपने जो question कहा है ना, I was just referring to Gaurav bhai, and I said to Gaurav bhai, we are not able to provide the credential, excellency and capability. I said serve to 2 clients instead of 100 clients. But give your 100%. Give the real content which you're looking for. You will be paid for. I'm telling you, you'll be paid for. I could have carried on giving lot many examples. I could have carried on giving lot many examples. But I'm only saying, if you want to get GST knowledge, to the extent we can provide free of cost as our fraternity, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Maybe 5 minutes more, I can take up your queries, and it is time to dinner also. I know timing is just nearer to your dinner also. Do not want to disturb your dinner. I've given starter which you wanted from my side. Main course, main meal is waiting for you. which your wife must have prepared sometime. You are also preparing at your home. And we must do some, joining together with them and cooking something is really a cherish, really happiness. We must try to put in hand together and cook something together. कभी कभार बहुत अच्छा लगता है, करके देखिए साथ साथ. Doing something together is very good. You get real happiness. And that is what so Vijay Kumar ji is saying that I used to do that. आप सुनते हैं dinner कहाँ याद आता है. So Manish Kumar is saying आपको सुनते हैं तो dinner कहाँ याद आता है. Very good. यही तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है. See, I really feel so glad and pleased. I get so much of love and affection. So Gaurav bhai, thanking you and your team for giving me this opportunity. And I'm so overwhelmed with the love and affection by whole India. Kindly keep guiding me and blessing me at all time. With this, allow me to say thank you. If any question, I would be willing to answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session. और sir, आपकी बात, the way you teach GST is much interesting than the GST itself, right? And we have a query for you, right? We are going to post on LinkedIn. जितने भी participants हैं, we request you all to please comment on the LinkedIn with your correct answer, with your perceptions. Whatever you think about that query, you have to write it on the comments. Bimal ji को हमने tag कर दिया है. सर भी उसको जरूर देखेंगे, हम भी सब देखेंगे. और with these words, I request CA Rohit ji, please give a formal vote of thanks to Bimal sir and to the audience. Rohit ji. Yes, Rohit, unmute yourself.
With your own mute.
Yes. Okay. Maybe there is
there is some disturbance. I'm so sorry. There is some disturbance from outside, so it will interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No issue at all. So thanks a lot, Bimal sir. And anyone having any query? बिमल जी के सेशन के बाद क्वेरियां बचती नहीं है वैसे, बट फिर भी कोई भी क्वेरी, कोई छोटी सी क्वेरी सर की भाषा में अगर बात करें, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी प्लीज राइट ऑन द चैट बॉक्स. प्रेरणा जी, कैन यू रीड इफ देयर इज एनी क्वेरी? यस.
CA Pratik Jain has asked one question. Can we claim the credit if the supplier submitted his GSTR1 but not filed? It appears in my GSTR 2A 2B as return not filed. Can I claim that input?
If it is not filed, then it will create a problem. Submitted and filed means submitted means it is not fully filed. To that extent, filing is important for availing credit.
Okay. It's running like anything. People are so curious to talk to you, sir.
I'm happy, but time is a pause for all of us.
Yeah,
today.
definitely. Okay, so I'm going to ask this question of Akansha Jain.
Yes, please.
GST liability on incentives. A is a manufacturer, gives incentive to B, which is a dealer, on achievement of sales target. Incentive is given to dealer as a financial credit note without GST. B forwarded the incentive to its customer retailers. Is there a GST liability on such incentive?
Financial credit note, no GST liability, and no adjustment is required by the supplier with his outward tax liability, and no reversal of ITC by the recipient. So financial credit note giving advantage that it can be issued irrespective of any time limit. No adjustment of tax liability in the hands of supplier and recipient both together. So financial credit note is a better option for giving the incentive.
Okay. So next question is from Mr. Hardik. Can we take ITC in books by satisfying all conditions by passing book entry, and in 3B it is merely a reflection of ITC? So there should be no time limit for availing ITC in 3B.
No, this argument will not hold good because taking credit in books of accounts and not taking credit in GST are 3B, because GST law is a specific law, special law, whereby credit to be availed in the return. So it cannot be argued that I've taken credit in my books of accounts but not taken in GST or 3B. I think this is not a good argument and it will not hold good as per my humble submission.
So this is a long query by Advocate Akshay. Please allow me to ask this.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
sure. The last query.
The dealer runs oil mill producing cotton seed oil and cotton seed oil cake. No tax is payable on cotton seed oil cake. Hence, ITC proportionately says 70% tax free and 30% taxable required to be deducted every month. Accordingly, average certain percentage wise it was deducted and reversal was claimed in GST or 3B for financial year 2021. Now, at the time of finalizing the accounts, it is found that there were excess deductions of ITC around rupees 3 lakhs. Now, how this excess reversal of ITC can be brought back in the ITC credit ledger? Please clarify.
You can avail the credit in the current GST or 3B month, and this re-availment of credit will not bar under the time limit to avail credit. So whenever you are re-availing the credit which was wrongly reversed, that will not fall in a trap of time limit under section 16 subsection 4. So you can avail this credit in the month when you have come out. You come to know that this credit was wrongly reversed. You can avail in that relevant month GST or 3B, and so in that particular financial year for GST 9. Nine and 9. Am I clear, Prerna?
Yeah. So I believe there is some internet connection from my side.
Prerna, am I audible? Prerna?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So next.
I give an answer.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. All right.
So
Yes,
one last question of the day. Period of interest on non-payment to supplier for more than 180 days. It's a question mark. And then from 20th or next month till date of payment, or till 20th of next month of payment month.
See, it is from the date when you have availed the credit, and if you have not paid within 180 days, then you need to reverse, and interest is chargeable as if that was not available to you. So till the time it is being reversed, you have to pay the interest accordingly.
Okay. So there are so many queries, but I believe it's already 9, and
thank you.
yeah, good to go.
Yes. Thank you very much to all of you. We have posted a query on LinkedIn, right? And you need to reply for the query. Please do reply to the query and do submit your answer on the comment box there on LinkedIn as well as on Twitter and on Facebook also. Right. Tomorrow we will have Sudhir Halakhandiji will be there with us, a renowned faculty in the field of GST. So thank you, Bimal sir, for such an energy boosting session and such a knowledgeable session. Thank you, sir. Bimal ji.